Welcome to the Brave Little Podcast, coming from Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, and Sacramento, California. Here's Skylar Teo, Aaron Alvarado, and David Stauffer.
Welcome to the Brave Little Podcast. I'm back from Dallas, Texas, back in Utah, in town, and with my regular pod, my pod co-host, not my siblings, but really in a way, my own brother, Aaron Alvarado.
Pod brother. How you doing, pod brother?
Oh, did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hey, David. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It is good to be back. You know what? Texas isn't bad, though.
It seems pretty nice, actually.
Texas isn't bad. Homes are incredibly inexpensive for how much you get. The weather was, muggy a little bit, but warm. Everything's real wide and big.
Yeah. Did you get that those boots that you're wearing? Did you get those from Texas?
I did. Yes, the ones with these spurs. Yeah, the spurs I got custom made because I'm a cowboy.
Well, the interesting thing is the Spurs are actually San Antonio Spurs players' faces.
Oh no, are they?
One is Manu.
And I got Tony Parker. Dang it.
It's actually Bruce Bowen.
Bruce Bowen.
The other one's Bruce Bowen.
No, Robert Horry.
Robert Horry. Yeah.
By the way, man, San Antonio. Woo! I guess when you're so good consistently across the amount of time they have, you're due for a shellacking every now and then. Last night was that shellacking. Also, further cemented my pick as James Harden over Kawhi for MVP.
Well, this is the reality, the sad reality. You cannot stay on top forever. San Antonio has been a powerhouse for 30 years, I think.
Yes. Since they magically got the first pick in the draft that took Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
But even that, they were good with freaking David Robinson.
Of course, yeah, the Admiral.
Yeah,
they were a really good team, and they've been near the top for 20 years. So,
well,
to pass the torch.
You know what it's like. You grew up with the Showtime Lakers,
right?
The end of Magic's reign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then
we had a down period of about 2 seasons, and then we stole Shaq.
Yes, I was gonna say. What's funny is when you really look, I was trying to in my mind figure out how long was your period between like the end of that era and the start of the next, and what kind of prompted that. And it was the stealing of Shaq.
Yeah, it was the stealing of Shaq. So I think we missed the playoffs for 2 straight seasons.
Okay,
maybe I think.
Yeah.
And that was like the Nick Van Exel, Cedric Ceballos era Lakers.
Quick Van Exel.
Nick the Quick.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was Vladi's first reign with the Lakers.
Yes, his first one. He had 2 stints there.
He sure did. He had a great assist in early 2000s as well.
Freaking no. Why? Just pull the rebound down. Vladi, pull the rebound down. You don't tip to the...
Best passing big man in the league.
Stop.
We can. There's no arguing that. Yeah. So no, Lakers had about I think two years that they were down, and then they stole Shaq.
Yeah.
And then they stole Kobe.
Yeah. Vlade Divac again strikes again.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, the Shaq thing was too bad you guys couldn't. They couldn't actually get along. It really could have been something special.
I think they were still pretty special.
Well, obviously, it's special, winning 3 championships.
But they could have won 6.
They could have won 6.
Easily.
They definitely could have won. Absolutely could have won 6. Because Kobe went on to win 1 without him. Shaq went on to win 1 without Kobe. They both of them had a little left in the tank. They could have won 6.
Right. Yeah. But Shaq in his prime, Shaq in his early Lakers days, unreal. Just absolutely incredible.
Well, it's the only unstoppable person that I've seen, like a physically unstoppable force, to where, for a Kings fan, it was maddening because you knew there was nothing you could do, except you would hope that Scott Pollard and Vlade Divac would come up with more crafty ways to commit fouls without them being called fouls, and to the art of the flop. Now, people give Vlade a ton of crap about being super flop. Look, Like, that was brilliant. It was genius. What else were you going to do? You know,
There was nothing else that he could do.
There was nothing else he could do, and he got very good at it. And I realized as an opposing fan, that could be really frustrating. But as a Kings fan, it was like, you know, it was some relief that there was at least an option, a route to at least trying to contain him.
Right.
But you were never
going to stop him. What was great is those Sacramento teams were really fun to play against. I will admit that.
Oh, it was fun.
But I also liked all the other Pacific Division teams.
The Mavs
that tried to put out big men out there. Like I'm thinking specifically the Clippers. They had guys like Michael Olowokandi,
Elton Brand.
Elton Brand's pretty good, but
no,
he couldn't. There's nothing he could do on the inside against Shaq.
They Clippers picked Olowokandi with the number 1 pick in the draft.
They sure did. He was terrible.
Yep.
And then even going to like Utah with Greg Ostertag.
Oh my gosh. Still a legend in this town.
You want to talk about a white stiff, like that guy.
Yeah, when you were talking crap on Sean Bradley, it's like, nah, man, you're thinking Ostertag because Sean Bradley was at least in Space Jam. They would have never put Ostertag in Space Jam.
And I think Sean Bradley is 8 feet tall, so you got to give him that. Ostertag, I mean, that was he couldn't move. First of all, he was 7 feet tall, but he couldn't move.
Yeah,
he was just a speed bump. Yeah. He was a white speed bump.
That's correct. He couldn't move. He couldn't play basketball, actually.
No, he couldn't shoot. He had zero basketball skills.
It was a body. It was a mass. It was a mass that they picked, you know, or drafted, whatever, to just put down there.
Right, exactly.
And hope could, you know. I have a funny Ostertag story. My dad actually has a good Ostertag story because he spent.
Did he dunk on him?
Yeah. Yes, my dad, 5'8", Preston Stoffer, 60 years old. Ostertag spent like the last season or two in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. It might have been 1 season at the end of his career. And he never got playing time. He was on the bench. And my dad went to a game. He had some friend, I think some rich friend that had tickets that were like right behind the bench. And my dad's sitting in Arco, and he was looking around, and he was like, how many people are in Arco again? Or how many people can he fit in Arco? Asking his friend, and he's just like, is it 17,000? And Ostertag turns around, and he's like, actually, it's 18,000. And then turns back around and keeps with the game. Just had to correct my dad with a fun fact that Arco is actually 18,000 instead of 17. And I was
That's amazing. Oh. He actually rejected your dad. He rejected him with facts.
That was the best. Yeah, that was the best rejection of his career.
Get that out of here.
Gosh. I mean, honestly, I don't think Hakeem Olajuwon's stopping Shaq.
Well, I mean, Hakeem was amazing, but he was also, I think, 10 years older. 10
years
older
I'm
than
saying
Shaq.
Hakeem in his prime.
No.
As amazing as he is, I still don't think he's stopping Shaq. It's just, you can't, he might outperform him maybe on the offensive side.
Right.
Or, but no one could.
It was impossible. The closest that I ever saw was, I think Ben Wallace, that upstart Detroit team that actually beat us in the final.
That just kind of won a championship that a lot of people forgot about.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I wish that Detroit team was awesome.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Very under the radar.
Yeah, totally under the radar. But Ben Wallace, I mean, all 6'9" of them, he actually did a really good job against Shaq. So
yeah. Dude, speaking of Kings Lakers, the Jazz just had that last game against the Clippers that they won, and the reffing was very visibly off, yeah. It was one-sided is what I'm saying. And Utah fans are understandably and rightfully complaining. Like the foul, I don't remember their numbers, but the foul call discrepancy was pretty enormous. And I started seeing the tweets that, people were saying, this is almost as bad as Kings Lakers 2002. And I wanted to be like, whoa. At least you said almost. But even then, the discrepancy wasn't anywhere near on the actual foul call numbers. And this wasn't the end of, the Western Conference Finals, like Game 6, Game 7,
Right.
The stakes are not quite that high.
I mean, I'll just ask you again, why were the Kings playing so dirty? Why did they take so many fouls?
Oh, yeah. That's a very good question. Why did they commit so many fouls? It seems like a bad strategy for them to commit that many fouls.
I warned you
way
going
more
into
fouls.
that game. I warned you.
Oh, my gosh. I'm a conspiracy theorist. You know this. When hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line in any given thing, I tend to think that humans are possible of anything. And the people that think that it's so crazy that David Stern, or not even just him, but anyone would be like, hey, we would make a lot more money if the Lakers were in the finals than if the Kings, which is true, and the ad dollars, or even not even that. How about just the forced Game 7? Like, we'll take it down a notch. How much more ad revenue is there? How much more excitement? Because the East sucks so bad, no one was caring or watching those games. It was going to be the Nets, and they were going to get swept by whoever won. They did. So everyone's watching the Western Conference Finals as the NBA championship.
Oh yeah, if the Sacramento Kings get past us, then you guys are winning the championship.
Yeah, that's exactly
No
right.
doubt.
Yeah, it was good. We were going to sweep them just like the Lakers swept them.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kings had the best regular season record in the NBA that year, and so the idea is it's just not that far fetched when that much money's on the line to think that someone in the NBA would nudge and say, hey, it'd be great to have one more game and that much more money. I just don't think it's that crazy. So.
No, I think there's far bigger conspiracy theories out there that are more unbelievable than that. So I'll give you that one.
And Game 7 wasn't really. I mean, Game 7 wasn't rigged. The Kings just crapped the bed, and that was that. Yeah, but Game 6, woo. Anyway, we have quite a bit to talk about. I did a pod while you were gone on what I think it might be one of the most remarkable movies of the year, one of the most special movies of the year. But you went and saw it with your significant other, with Sarah.
I sure did, yeah.
You guys had yourself a circle of a weekend.
We did. We went to go see The Circle, and I listened to your pod, by the way. Good job.
Oh, thanks.
With you and the siblings, very entertaining. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about it again, just because people get bored. But I will say that if we can convince one or two of you out there to watch this movie, then we've done our jobs. Because without a doubt, it's the most interesting movie that I've seen this year, 2017. It's the movie that I thought about the most, by far. It's also the worst movie I've seen of 2017.
Or 16. So,
yeah, exactly. No, without a doubt. No, it's one of the worst movies I've seen in many, many years.
But,
I was blown away. I could not believe what I was watching unfold on the screen.
But I still can't.
No, I'm thinking about it every day since it happened. How did this get made?
I can understand why certain superhero movies are bad. I know, you didn't like Civil War. I didn't like Batman vs Superman. We both didn't like Suicide Squad. I don't know if either of us have even finished it. But that one is very it's obvious what they were trying to do, how it wasn't working. You know, there were clear reasons for it being so horrible. But this one, it's
baffling. Even like a movie like the Emoji Movie, you understand why it's made.
Right.
It's a cash grab.
Yep.
This movie's not a cash grab. This movie, I don't know. I think the director was trying to be ambitious with some of the themes, obviously. Data protection and privacy rights, and the overreach of government and private industry. The only problem is the way that it was executed was just straight trash. It couldn't have been done worse. Everything about it was so incredibly cliched. At the end of the movie, my wife turns to me and she says, "I've seen this before. The movie was called Antitrust."
Yeah.
And I absolutely agreed with her.
Yeah. It's Antitrust.
It's literally the same movie.
Yep.
I mean, almost beat for beat.
So the Antitrust was very popular in the software home growing up.
Was it really?
My parents really loved that movie. We saw it so many times. That's all. I mean, we talked about that immediately as a group of siblings. We got in and we're like, well, Antitrust, better or worse?
Yeah. It's impossible to see Antitrust and then see The Circle and not see the parallels.
Yeah.
It's so apparent.
Did you ever think someone would do Antitrust worse than Antitrust did?
No, I didn't. More ham-fisted with worse dialogue?
They did
More
it.
Unbelievable?
They did it.
Everything about The Circle is worse than Antitrust. Yep. Everything.
It's, how they have all these stories and now documentaries about the behind the scenes of the making of The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Right.
There's these incredible stories. Brando on set, Val Kilmer, about this production they pulled the director at the very beginning and swapped him out for someone else. Everything fell apart. They still made it. They were committed to it. And it's just this terrible film. It's fun doing retrospectives on that. I don't even wonder. The only thing I do wonder is when we're getting that for The Circle, because we are.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I
it's
think we have
that
to.
level of bad, I think.
We have to, and someone has to address it because no one. I haven't seen anyone talking about this movie. Anyone that's made the movie, I haven't seen them talking
So
about it.
have you tried searching? Because it was bothering me so much because I can't stop thinking about it. I've been thinking about it ever since I saw it.
Yeah. The only thing that I've seen is the director talking about what's his name? The guy that played the dad.
Oh, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah. So that's the only thing that I've seen, that he praised Bill Paxton for his work on the movie, how committed he was to a terrible role. First of all,
I mean, you heard my point. This was a favor for Tom Hanks.
it had to be.
Yeah,
It absolutely had to be.
he's not reading that script and being like, "I'm in." Yeah.
No, I don't even know if there was a script. Honestly,
Yeah.
This is a movie that when I got out of it, I instantly thought this is on par with a movie like The Room.
Yes.
Where it's not intentionally bad,
Yeah.
but it is so over the top terrible that I could see people watching this movie at midnight in a group having a great time, just mocking the hell out of it.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Because there's so many scenes to mock.
That's the thing. That it's one after the other, and right when you think it's gotten peak crazy, you're wrong. You're wrong. Then there's a chase in a truck and a drone, and
oh man, there's so many twists and turns, and basically they just keep turning and turning and turning, like they're being flushed down a toilet.
Yeah.
So
I tried Googling, looking for anything, cryptic tweets from people on set. Someone that's going to be like, oh, this is, working on set of a film I can't name. Boy, this is going to be a doozy or something, right? I want anything. The only thing I found was they did, a lot of movies do pickup shoots. Now, of course, big budget films, it's a regular thing. They did reshoots, I read somewhere, at least in one place, in just this past January.
Okay.
And they had wrapped shooting 6 months or so before that. And an $18 million budget that doesn't have any real special effects or things that I'm thinking reshoots or pickups or whatever. I don't know the extent of them. All I know is that they did them in January. Makes me wonder.
Yeah, so you mentioned the 18 million, and that's the advertised budget of the movie.
Sure.
I don't believe it. Looking at the movie, I don't see how this movie was only made for 18 million.
Really?
Yeah, I think that they spent a lot more money on this movie, and they're not willing to divulge how much money they spent on it.
I wonder how they're able to get away with that. Like, what are they obligated to report? And
I don't think they're obligated to report anything to the press.
I wouldn't
publicly.
report like Box Office Mojo. Makes me wonder how they, because if I were making films, I would never say how much they cost, regardless of how small or big it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lose-lose. I mean, you don't want people knowing. I mean, I guess if you made a movie for $4 million and made, $200 million, that'd be worth gloating about. But like, I don't know. It makes me wonder. But it's,
I'm very suspect. I really want to see it again.
Yeah, it's not the last time I walked out thinking that will not be the last time I see that movie.
No, to confirm all my feelings were justified, I really need to see it again. Man, it was bad.
Yeah. It's, well, I can't wrap my head around where it went wrong because of all the people involved. James Ponsoldt is someone that you and I both enjoy. Did you see Smashed?
Yes, I love Smashed.
You love Smashed. That's right. You love that movie.
Yeah.
I guess say the 18 million is a real number. I guess I could buy it in the sense that dude has made great film off of very small budgets. End of the Tour is another one you and I both really liked.
Loved it.
The Spectacular Now I thought was definitely very good. It was critically acclaimed. The guy has great track record, great with story. He was a co-writer on this with one other, and he directed this film. Was it ambition? How do you go from making such good movies to something that was so clearly on the other side? This wasn't just like a misfire that directors have from time to time, where it's like, oh, they didn't quite nail it because so many things can go wrong. It's wrong everywhere.
From top to bottom, from tone,
everything.
to dialogue,
the
story,
the idea, the acting, it's bad. L.R. Coltrane, it's because of L.R. Coltrane being both in the film and his acting himself is what leads me to really think that it's possible that what we're seeing in The Circle is a deliberate a deliberate crappy movie. That there is a level of this that is done on purpose and knowingly so.
They had to know from the very first take that this kid was in over his head. He has no business being in the movie.
Nope.
He can't act.
From the very first scene, he was
He can
terrible.
barely string a sentence together.
If you can swap out someone for Marty McFly a quarter of the way into the production, you can swap out that guy. He's not.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
I really don't get it.
They didn't.
I really don't get it.
Yeah. So
yeah, if you get a chance, watch this movie.
It's terrific. It's really something special.
It's spectacularly bad, is what it is. It's very, very rare that I get to see a movie that is so bad be so compelling.
At least Bill Paxton, on his way out, he got to. I mean, he had the scene-stealing moment, so at least he got to go out with the best scene of the film. Anyway, that's enough of the circle. I really want people I really want people to watch it. I really do. So if you do, tweet us. Let us know what you think. Tell us your favorite, the best moments. The moment you knew that this was a film that would have its place in movie history as something special.
Completely off the rails.
Completely off the rails. With a cast and a crew and everything else that should be the recipe for success.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think they killed off his character, Boyhood's character, because he was trying to escape the movie. So he's like, I'm out of here.
That was actually live footage of him trying to get out of this set. I'm
just going to drive off this bridge.
I do have last question for you on this, though. Patton Oswalt.
Oh, man.
Should he keep trying dramatic roles? I mean, a lot of comedians can do it and really well. Like Louis C.K. can do dramatic roles. Robin Williams famously could. A lot of them can.
I like Patton as an actor more than I like him as a stand-up.
Oh, you do? Okay.
He's funny, but I think he's a better actor than he is a stand-up.
Great.
A stand-up. Young American. Have you seen that?
No.
So that's the movie with Charlize Theron. She plays an author. She goes back home, and Patton Oswalt plays like this guy that has a crush on her, basically, and who's like a friend from the past. And they kind of like meet up and like they kind of rekindle their friendship or something. It's pretty interesting. It was written by Diablo Cody, who wrote the movie about the girl that's pregnant, Juno.
Oh, Juno.
Yeah,
Diablo Cody. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she wrote Juno, and then she wrote this is Young American or Young Americans. It's one of the, So
wait, it was a Reitman film.
Yes.
Young adult.
Exactly. Young adult. That's it. Young adult.
Did you like Young Adult?
It's okay.
Because it got mixed reviews and I never saw it. So
yeah, but what I liked about it was Patton Oswalt. I thought he was the best part of that movie. And then also I liked his work in Big Fan.
Big fan.
So,
yeah.
So I think he's a pretty good actor, but this movie he's terrible. I mean, top to bottom, he's completely wrong for the role, completely wrong for everything about it. First of all, he doesn't look like an executive at a...
not at all. No, not in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. That face could be used for something specific effectively, and it's not a co-founder of a major tech company.
I will say the one thing that totally worked for me was Tom Hanks as the executive, as the Steve Jobs.
Was he working for... I mean, he was Tom Hanks. I mean...
He was playing Tom Hanks, and that first keynote speech where he's got like the crowd in his palm.
I love it.
I thought that really worked.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie because it's Tom Hanks being Tom Hanks.
And that's how people would actually respond to Tom Hanks.
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
100%. So other than that, movie stunk.
Oh, man. Wow.
But still worth seeing.
It's rare for us to really say that about movies we dislike.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't dislike the movie. It's a terrible movie that I like watching.
Yeah, same here. The good news is we do have a palate cleanser coming up, and that's the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
We're hoping.
Yes.
Is it gonna be?
Early reviews say could be, right?
Yeah.
What's the early Rotten Tomato score? Do you know?
So I'm pulling it up right now. It's last I checked, it wasn't certified yet, but it was not as high as the first one, which was in the 90s. That's kind of hard to replicate. This one's at 85. It's certified now, so 85%.
Okay,
That's strong.
For a sequel, that's really good.
Yeah, no, that is really good. People seem to be liking it quite a bit. Less popular with the top critics, but overall, 85%. Remind me, did you like the first one?
Yeah, I did. I waited until it was on DVD already before I watched it. I didn't see it in the movie theater. But I was thoroughly entertained by it.
It's surprisingly so. I think it surprised everybody.
Yeah.
Like the talking tree, the raccoon, people didn't know. These aren't familiar superheroes.
That's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
I think that's what everybody loved about it, right?
Yeah.
So these were all basically brand new characters for all of us. And I thought everyone involved did a really good job. So I think that, and I appreciated the fact that it was really lighthearted subject matter. I mean, even though they're saving the galaxy,
Right.
But it's like it's nothing heavy. There's no really superly dramatic moments. You know they're going to always win in the end, and they're very easy to root for. So I'm hoping we get more of that in this next one.
Yeah. It's hard. Sequels are hard for a lot of reasons, but especially in situations like this where it was so fun. What was so fun for me about Guardians of the Galaxy was the introduction of these characters and them learning to kind of gel together. And that's such a blast. And sequels are so hard to do because you don't have the benefit of having that narrative construct, to entertain people, because it's fun. It's fun to have kind of a misfit gang learn to, to grow and love each other and then accomplish, a singular goal. They're established now, and it's less fun that way. And so I'm encouraged to see 85%, and I hope that's not Disney paying people.
Now we have a vested interest going into all these characters, like Chris Pratt's character. I mean, hearing that he was going to be the anchor of a Marvel movie, it definitely got my head shaking when before Guardians came out, the first one.
Because what did you know Chris Pratt from?
Parks and Rec.
That's what. Yeah, and for me, Moneyball. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Hatterberg.
Scott Hatterberg. Right?
Yeah. But he turned out to be a superstar.
Yep. Very much so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm seeing it. So I'm seeing it Thursday in. What I'm excited. I'm seeing it IMAX 2D. It's rare to be able to get IMAX without the 3D. And so I'm seeing IMAX 2D. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it should be good. How do you feel about what's the director's name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. That's it. How do you feel about his directing ability?
So he does a lot of writing. I don't know if that's how he started.
He's mainly known for his screenwriting.
He is known for just it. That's what I thought.
He did direct. I think he directed Super. Was that his?
Was it Super? So I'm pulling up his directing credits because Guardians is the first thing I remember seeing of his that he directed. Oh, he did. He like everyone else. He did a segment in Movie 43. I didn't see that movie. Yeah, he did Super.
What did you think of Super? Did you watch that?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the Rainn Wilson. That's the Rainn Wilson superhero.
Yeah, it's not great.
I heard it's really dark and like weird.
Yeah. I think I've watched like half of it on Netflix. It was okay. It's not great.
Okay. So, man, this was a risk for Disney to allow him to take the helm.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And then to take the helm of these unknown characters in a very big budget movie.
Definitely.
It could have easily tripped up. But I think he did a great job. Just about everything about that first Guardians movie, it works.
It really does. It's a fun.
Level.
Even if it's hokey and overly sentimental at the end, which is some of the criticism I hear, it still works.
Right, and that casting of Chris Pratt is so important. It's vital.
Oh, it's
because
the
character of Star-Lord, obviously, he's got to be kind of like the traditional hunk, leading man. But he also has to have the comedic edge.
Imagine
Pratt.
What if Scott Eastwood got cast? That's a different, very less successful movie.
I'd rather see Clint Eastwood than Scott.
I'd rather see Clint Eastwood's chair. Empty chair. Yeah, you're right, man. It's incredible when I see movies that rely so much on the main lead and the actor that's playing it. This is one of those films.
Yeah, like this and Bond. Any of the Bond movies are the same way. They carry the entire movie. So.
Yeah, they have to.
The Circle, Emma Watson
carries it. LR carries it when he carries it when it's kind of like the footprints in the sand poem that you hear some Christians. There's with the Circle, when you see like the one set of footprints, that's when LR Coltrane is carrying Emma.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
She can't
and then
carry
you also see the deer prints behind them.
Oh no! And then the deer prints disappear. I don't kill deer.
Oh wow! Powerful moment.
Great. Oh, I get chills just thinking about it. Yeah, we are at 30 minutes. We've got some movie news to go through. Do you want to run through it quick?
Let's do it. Yeah,
let's do it. We got some good stuff here. There was one quick thing you didn't put on the list, but I did pull up and I noticed. They're making a Doc Holliday movie.
Oh yeah.
With Jeremy Renner in the lead.
Jeremy Renner as Doc Holliday.
Is there a point where a character's been portrayed as excellently as it ever will be that we should leave it alone, or should we keep getting Doc Holliday movies?
Well, so the question is, do we even know that Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday is the real Doc Holliday, or is he just the Tombstone Doc Holliday?
Well, it's very much the Tombstone Doc Holliday.
Exactly. So if they take it in a completely different direction, where he has none of the charisma, none of the interesting, none of the fun stuff, why we all loved Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, then maybe it works. Otherwise, if they try to go down the same path, it's going to fail. It's going to completely fail. I'm not a big Renner fan, personally.
Could you imagine if Renner had some of the same tics and like expressions? People would riot.
Yeah, that's just a really poor choice if they decide to go that route.
I would never, in Renner's I would never take on that role.
No.
It'd be hard. I mean, it's an interesting character, but I don't want to be the second guy who, even if he's good, he'll always be the lesser.
Right. Although Billy the Kid, we saw him portrayed in Bill and Ted.
Yep. Oh, yeah, famously so.
And then we also saw him
Outlaws
portrayed
with Colin Farrell.
Outlaws, and then one more time as in the movie Young Guns. Emilio Estevez.
Emilio!
And I will say that's the best Billy the Kid.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, to me, it's the only.
Have you seen Young Guns, by the way?
No.
Oh, man. You have to watch Young Guns and Young Guns 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Completely cheesy.
Both of them.
Great movies.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll start with 2. And then if it's good, I'll watch 1.
Well, look at the cast. The cast is Lou Diamond Phillips, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen.
Oh, Charlie's in it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The brothers are in it.
Is Joe Estevez? That's my favorite Estevez.
No,
okay.
I don't think Joe Estevez.
So moving on to these other news. That was just the one news item I was going to contribute. I really wanted your take. You love Tombstone.
Do we know a title for that Doc Holliday movie yet?
I don't know that they have one. Let's see. It's based on a couple of books that. Dennis Quaid. I forgot was also played Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, he did in Wyatt Earp. That's right.
The 2 novels called Doc and Epitaph, and so it doesn't.
Okay, if they're basing it on that, then it's probably going to be a more serious tone.
So
it should be okay.
That's the idea. Let's hope.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can't touch that.
Yeah.
The Tombstone Doc Holliday.
So, talking about The Circle, it came in number 4 in the box office. What's funny is if it really was only $18 million in terms of cost, it'll probably make money.
Yeah, it's going to make money, I think.
But this is the weirdest. I didn't even look at this. You pointed this out to me. This top 5 is so bizarre. We're entering the summer season of movies. This is weird. Walk us through this.
We're right on the precipice, right, of the summer blockbusters.
Oh yeah.
So the number this past weekend,
Fast and the Furious.
The box office, sorry.
Yeah. Dom still.
Yeah, Fast and Furious is still hanging strong at number 1. It made $19 million, and then number 2 is a little independent movie called How to Be a Latin Lover. It opened on 1,100 screens and it made $12 million.
So I'm not a Latin.
Yeah.
Can you?
I am Latin.
What's that?
I'm definitely Latin.
Exactly.
And
so tell me.
Not so much a lover though.
I'm asking you, how did this happen?
Well, here was my first clue. I'd never heard anything about this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it until I went to see Fast and the Furious. The movie theater that I saw it at is in the heart of Van Nuys, which is predominantly Hispanic city. And when this trailer played for How to Be a Latin Lover, the theater erupted. The theater went off.
Is it based on source material people are familiar with?
I don't think so. I think that they know the actor.
Okay.
He's an established Spanish-speaking actor. I don't even know if he's Spanish or Mexican or what he is. But I think that they're familiar with him. And it's Salma Hayek is the second lead in the movie.
Oh, Salma's in there. And Rob Lowe?
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for
Kristen
it?
Bell? No.
Yeah, Kristen Bell's in it. Yep, watch the trailer.
Okay.
So the movie is a slapstick comedy. The premise is that this young Latin lover takes on an elderly rich wife, some like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, and then cut to today, the wife cheats on him and she divorces the Latin lover, but now he's an older gigolo. He still thinks he's a Latin lover, this gigolo type, but he's in his 50s. So he's overweight and he's basically a clown. So he has nowhere to live. He moves in with his sister and his nephew, and his sister's played by Selma Hayek. So he turns into like the de facto male influence for the nephew, and it's like a coming of age movie, and it's also Rob Lowe is in it. He plays a gigolo as well. But yeah, it's a slapstick comedy, is what it is.
I'm amazed when this happens, when there's a very niche film catered to a very niche specific demographic that gets in the top 5.
Right.
And like the first time I saw a Medea film, did like $25 million opening weekend, which has now happened several times. But the first time that I at least noticed it, I was like, wait, what? Like I was confused. But like,
right, it is confusing.
When there's a market that's hungry for a certain type of thing,
Right.
It's pretty incredible to see that market served.
And it really is, like, talk about speaking with your dollars. This is that.
Oh yeah.
And I saw I think it was on Variety. They showed the exit polling. The audience was 89% Hispanic. That went to see this movie.
Yeah.
So the movie was a targeted release. That's why it was only on 1,100 screens, and they basically just released it in cities that are high Spanish speaking. So and did really well. So
That's a smart strategy.
They did a great job finding their market.
So that being number 2 blows my mind. And so hopefully I would think with our number 3 film, we would return to kind of normalcy, predictable. Is that what happened?
No.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, the number 3 movie opened at $10 million on 425 screens.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And the movie is called Bahubali 2, The Conclusion.
The Conclusion?
Yeah, this is an Indian movie. It's a Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
But like I said, it opened on 425 screens. The average per screen dollar amount was $24,000.
That's unbelievable. Now,
yeah,
you are a former box office manager. You would count literally the end of a day.
Oh yeah.
You are very familiar with how, not necessarily per screen stuff, but you know these numbers. That's crazy.
It's off the charts, is what it is. I mean, you wouldn't even open a giant tentpole picture at 24,000. I mean, maybe if you got lucky, if it was like a episode 1 or something like that. But for a small independent, for a Bollywood movie to open that big is amazing. But this again speaks to your point of knowing your audience and giving them what they want. So a $10 million open on a Bollywood movie is incredible.
It's unbelievable, it really is.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what it makes in India.
Yeah, I know, right? So worldwide, we'll see what it does. It's a huge success in America.
Yep.
And I got to be honest, seeing the amount of success it has, I'm pretty interested in finding out what it's about.
I'm not the market that they were targeting, but makes me wonder, where were they serving these ads? I mean, it had to have been in these highly, populated, high Indian populations. Mm-hmm. But were they doing commercials, bus wraps? There are, there are a fair amount of Indian people in Utah. I mean, certainly a lot less than in California and other places. But it's just weird to me that I didn't ever encounter even just a whiff of this film or marketing at all, and it made $10 million in this country.
Yeah, it's pretty special when a movie in this day and age, you have zero awareness of its presence, but it can still be a massive hit.
It's crazy,
relatively speaking.
Crazy.
And I wonder if they did a lot of print stuff, because just speaking to the American immigrant experience, my mother-in-law she was born in the Philippines, and I know that when she goes to the Filipino market, she always picks up a local newspaper circular that they have there, and she'll read the entire thing front to back. So I wonder if there's a similar thing for the Indian community in America, where they'll pay attention to the printed word more than the typical American experiences. We don't even care about print anymore. But that's just one avenue. I wonder if they targeted.
Yeah,
it's probably obviously a lot cheaper too. So.
Oh sure, yeah. So yeah, that's nuts. Next up, we have a trailer. For The Big Sick, which was a big Sundance darling, got picked up. This is Kumail and his wife Emily. This is a film they made together. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. They co-wrote it, and one of the guys from. You ever watch The State? That was an MTV sketch comedy group.
No.
Okay, so that was in the '90s, a little bit before your time. But all the guys that went on to The State did like other stuff, and they're established in the sketch community. And one of the guys from that troupe directed this movie. I can't think of his name at the moment, but so yeah, this movie is it was co-written by Emily and Kumail, and it's basically autobiographical. So if you watch the trailer, the whole thing plays out. You come to find that these two hook up on under some very interesting circumstances, and Kumail's family does not approve of this girl because she's a white white American.
I know what that's like.
Right, exactly, and so do I. But I'm not white. We actually do have similar experiences.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing about Kumail is being a Pakistani, his parents expect him to have an arranged marriage, and so that's one of the things that he has to deal with.
An arranged marriage
is the pushback that he's getting from his family. So if you watch the trailer, it looks like a typical rom-com where it's like a fish out of water tale, but there's an interesting twist. I guess from what the reviews that I've read, about 40 minutes into the movie, we come to find out that the two break up, and Emily actually gets sick, and it's so bad that she has to go in the hospital, and she's under a medically induced coma. And at that point, Kumail goes to visit her, and he meets her family. And initially, the family doesn't want him to be there because they understand that they're broken up, and they don't like the way that he treated their daughter, Emily. You still there?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Your screen went black. Okay.
It completely froze on me. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So, am I still there? Yeah. So, did you hear me say how the
you said so?
Out?
It was an arranged marriage and it cut out.
Yeah. So I went on to explain like the trailer. Basically, what happens is they go, they meet up and they break up at one point, and then halfway through the movie, she gets sick and she's in the hospital. Kumail goes to look after her, even though they've broken up, and he finds her parents there, and the parents actually ask him to leave because they're not together anymore. And he doesn't leave. He persisted.
Nevertheless, he persisted.
Exactly. Nevertheless, he persisted. And what happens is the parents start to develop a relationship with Kumail. They get to understand who he is as a person, and they get to understand why their daughter loved him so much. And so, it looks like pretty much a typical rom-com. But some of the jokes in the trailer are really funny. And so it looks pretty interesting. And Kumail is hilarious. He's a really funny actor.
Yeah, you and I both love him in Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley and everything he's done.
Yeah. And
the girl who plays Emily, her Zoe Kazan.
Oh yeah.
Zoe Kazan. And her father's played by Ray Romano.
Good.
Yeah, and the mother is I can't think of her name.
Please say Susan Sarandon.
No, I wish it was Susan Sarandon. But yeah, just watch the trailer. It looks really funny. It's one of the movies that I'm looking out for, and the full trailer is out now, so go check it out.
Makes me wonder how Emily felt, with Kumail not casting her. Going with a different actress. I wonder if that was a rift in their marriage.
Yeah, they're divorced now. So.
Yeah, that sequel, The Big Suck. And we have a few other pieces of news. We also have another trailer. I don't know how much you want to talk about. It comes at night.
Yeah, it comes at night. We've talked about this previously.
Yeah.
It's a Joel Edgerton thriller horror movie.
Yeah.
So check out the full trailer. Just dropped recently. Looked incredibly tense. Very terrifying.
Everything Joel touches, we're fans of.
Yeah. He's magic.
WGA, Writers Guild, struck a deal.
Huge news. Big sigh of relief.
Oh my
WGA and all the major studios came to agreement at the 0 hour. And they reached a 3-year agreement, and apparently both sides capitulated, and they're happy. I guess they're happy with the new deal that they struck.
And it seemed pretty fair. I was pretty amazed with some of the things they had to like the way that writers get paid on a per episode basis, and they're not allowed to work on other shows and other things while that's being made. But with everything moving to these shortened seasons, they were getting paid less now, but for the same amount of work because the time commitment was the same because they would shoot over a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
And for less money. And it's amazing to me that the per episode basis is how they get paid. I think that doesn't make sense.
A lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. And, I mean, the studios are making money hand over fist.
Oh, yeah, they are. Right now on TV, they are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's money everywhere. The entire industry is flush with cash. But when it comes time to actually pay the people involved, then they're going to cry poor, which is typical. I mean, that's just the way they operate things.
Oh yeah, the fancy financials that movie
Horror
studios
stories,
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy for the writers. Without them, we would just have reality TV, and I'm not interested in seeing that anymore. So. Well,
without the writers, we wouldn't. Without writers, we wouldn't have great Johnny Depp performances. That's my attempt at a segue.
Such as
the Pirates of the Caribbean. This might surprise you. I don't know. I'm guessing this will surprise you. Johnny Depp is not a frugal and responsible a citizen.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Apparently, the guy spends a lot of money and doesn't really think about it. He's in trouble, Aaron. He's in financial trouble. He fired his old manager, hired a new one, and they discovered that the other manager may have been stealing from him.
Oh no.
Which is really unfortunate. By the way, promise me, Aaron, when you make $1 million doing something, that you're never too rich that you don't notice that someone could be stealing from you. That to me, don't ever get that rich.
That is the height of privilege, right?
Oh boy. So he's in trouble. He bought. I read the article. I read an article and pasted it in our text thread. And there's a quote in there where his former business manager, who's countersuing Johnny Depp, who sued him, he claimed that Johnny Depp spent some millions of dollars on was it a cannon or like.
Wow.
It was something.
Oh,
it was
when he shot up the ashes of Hunter S. Thompson.
That's what it was. He purchased a cannon to shoot out the ashes of Hunter S. Thompson, and Johnny Depp in his reply corrected him and told him that it cost even more money than he had originally quoted, which I thought was hilarious. Considering his former business manager's whole point is that he spends too much money. So this is the thing. Disney takes care of their own. If you've done right by Disney, they'll do right by you. So they said, from what I understand the story to go, they said, Johnny, we got work for you. You can make some money, help get yourself out of debt. We need you to get in character as Jack Sparrow, and we need you to be a part, semi-permanently, a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction in Anaheim. And you know what? Johnny did it.
What?
Yeah. Look, Aaron, I don't live in Southern California. You do. I don't understand how you didn't immediately grab Sarah and race over to Disneyland to get tickets and experience this firsthand. How did you have that self-control?
I am kicking myself right now. I love Johnny Depp. I love the Pirates. I love Disneyland. I love standing in lines. I love all the people that are there, especially the kids.
Oh, kids are great there.
I love oversized turkey legs.
Oh,
I love people dressed up in costumes.
The churros are good though.
Yeah, everything about Disneyland is me. Yeah. So I'm kicking myself for not jumping on that ride.
You watch this video.
Johnny Depp.
It's sad.
The video's amazing.
Oh.
The video is incredibly sad because here's the thing. Johnny Depp as, latter day, early 21st century Johnny Depp. I know Johnny Depp as the independent actor who was like the underdog, who's considered one of the best actors of his generation.
I know him from watching 21 Jump reruns with my dad. He loved that show. That's how I first, Tim, it's 21 Jump Street.
Terrible show, but he was great in it.
Oh, yeah.
He was great in it. So I mean, I have a respect for the level of acting that Johnny Depp is capable of. We haven't seen that level of acting in about a decade. So I don't even recognize the guy, that Johnny Depp anymore. So to then see him in this video that Disney produced, where he's interacting with the animatronics on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, is pretty sad for me, to be quite honest.
Oh, it's really sad. I mean, they couldn't even do the decency of giving him a co-host or excuse me, a co-star.
No.
Like
I was expecting to see Keira Knightley there.
Yeah.
Where was Keira?
Or even like a lesser actor, someone else that's in the production that could be there to kind of,
Are you talking about Orlando Bloom?
Yes.
No, he's busy. Oh. He's busy with Katy Perry.
How sad. But like the energy of another actor to kind of work off of, riff off of. No, they were like, no, Johnny, it's you and the animatronics. That's it.
And it doesn't work.
No.
Like that's the thing. The people that are there, they love it. They're screaming for him. They're interacting with them. But first of all, Johnny Depp is not a good improviser.
No,
because he's been told these lines to throw out, and then people like shoot back at him, and he has nothing to follow up with. And that's one of the saddest things to see. It's like, oh, Johnny, what have you become?
Oh, it's sad.
Poor Johnny.
Well, to bring it back up and to wrap up the pod, we're going to end on a high note instead of a sad one, and that is Logan is being re-released in black and white.
In black and white for one day only. What is that, May 16th?
May 16th, which is a Tuesday. That's 2 weeks from today. I would say the good news is for those that have $5 movie Tuesdays, they live in a state that honors that. Well, unfortunately, it won't be $5 because I'm pretty sure this is going to be some sort of Fathom event. And
as it should be.
And it doesn't apply to that. Who is doing this? What organization is it? Is it widely released for one day?
Well, I think the DVD comes out the following week, or the video release, home video release.
Okay.
So this is the advertising campaign.
Oh.
To get people excited for the home video release. But this is a total gimmick, and I am in 100% in.
Oh yeah. I'm
definitely gonna go see it.
The black and white thing is generally a gimmick, but it works for certain films in a way that makes it actually worth going back to see. Whether it's, Mad Max, Logan. I would see The Circle in black and white. I really would.
Clerks.
Clerks. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm totally hyped for Logan in black and white, so I'll be there. Hopefully you'll get a ticket too. So.
What a great film.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Unironically, my favorite movie of the year.
What? Unironically, yes.
Unironically,
yes.
Ironically, The Circle is my favorite.
Definitely, yeah. When people. They ask me a lot. People, even if whether they don't listen to the podcast, people at work still will ask me what they should go see. I'm going to go see a film. What's good? What's out? And I'm going to be saying The Circle for the remainder of 2017. So
you need to get people to see
yes,
The
we
Circle.
do. So I'll tell people like even when it comes out like on digital and DVD, I'll be like, don't go to the movies. Don't waste your money. There's a perfect film that you can watch right now in the comfort of your home, and it's The Circle, starring the most trusted man in America, Tom Hanks. Yes, I'm honestly committed to telling people to go see that, and I can't wait for them to love it as much as I did.
Yeah, so when you're not watching The Circle, go watch Logan in black and white because we'll be there.
Yep, May 16th. Well, I think that's it. We went over.
I think we hit everything.
Yeah, but we did hit everything. Our Patreon folks, thanks.
We love you guys.
We really do. It's great. You paid for our movie, our seeing of The Circle. You financed it. We just wouldn't be able to have seen it without you. So
no. Well, you're also paying for me to go see Guardians this weekend too. So.
That's me as well. And because I'm seeing it in IMAX, it took up the rest of the Patreon budget.
Well, again, because you're seeing it in IMAX, I have to use the military discount.
That's right.
So
when they say, "Sir, are you really a senior citizen?" you have to look them in the eye and say, "Yes." Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
And I mean, I think it's more likely that you're a senior than that you served your country.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's no question about that. There's also more likely that I'm a child. So.
All right, man. Thanks for joining me. Send my regards to Ginger and Sarah.
Always.
Two of my favorite females in the world.
Hey, we need to start working on some new merch.
Yeah.
So if you got some T-shirt ideas,
Oh,
let me know.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I got a couple ideas too. I did see Skylar over the weekend in Dallas. We did hang out most of Sunday. Went to the aquarium. I got to meet his baby. We had lunch. Him and his wife Kara. It was terrific seeing him, and he's enjoying his podternity. And
Tell him,
he'll be back soon.
did you remind him that we're not in any other country in the civilized world than America? So he doesn't get unlimited time off to be with his, to bond with his child.
Dude, California.
Did you remind him of that?
California still gives you, California is the most giving, I think, of the paternity.
Yeah, but he's in Texas.
Oh, what am I saying? California. Why am I saying California? You're right.
They're their own
Why?
sovereign nation.
I really brain farted there for a second. He's in Texas. They give you zero paternity.
No, exactly.
Yeah, they literally. Yeah, they say you can't actually take days. You can't take your vacation days that you earned. Yeah.
But since I'm based in California, you're from California, we decided to extend the California laws to him.
We were able to do that successfully. Thankfully, he's doing a lot of freelance work, so he can actually be a little more flexible. And that
is really great. Actually.
That is good. No, he's got a great setup. His baby's beautiful. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Seeing Skylar be a very attentive, caring, loving father kind of warmed my heart a little bit. It's like Skylar. He had to shed the persona. He's a softie.
Well, you were sending me those pictures. Was he really being like the curator at the aquarium?
Oh, that's 100% true. So he has a season pass. He goes there twice a week. That was the third time. On Sunday was the third time he had been there, in the last 7 days. And he was showing every single one we go to. He had names for the different fish, and he had one that would follow his finger. He knew which one. And he was showing my nephew, who thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Can you post one of those pictures on Twitter so people can see?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I only show. I have a whole series. The whole, like I was saying, the series is called, Skylar teaches my family about fish. I sent you 4 of them. I have a dozen, I think.
That's great.
It was actually pretty great. It was really fun. So it was great to see him. He'll be back with his hot takes. But anyway,
all right.
That's all. As we say, hold on to your butts.
Thank you for listening to the Brave Little Podcast. Hold on to your butts.